Fam, how you doing? Today is what now? I think the seventh day in the month of September. Yeah, it's another business day. Business conversation is a Thursday. I know you've been waiting for this conversation. Remember how explosive last Thursday was? Where this is another Thursday. I know it's after the Judgment Day, so a little observation: the roads are a bit empty. People are not moving as they used to. I don't know if it's the fuel subsidy, if it's the cost of petrol, or if it's the judgment, but I don't know. But the roads are a bit quiet today, or maybe it's Lagos sanitation. I don't know, but it's all good. Business are moving and people are making money, irrespective of what's happening. Even in Ukraine and Russia, where there is war, people are making money. So making money is everyday thing. It's business. So business continues. So if you own a business or you're thinking of making money or you don't know what to do, this program is for you, because if you have money, you can solve 95, if not 100%, or maybe 80%
of your problems.
Of your problems. So why not make money? So welcome to the program Business Around Town. Today we talk about business opportunities that you can start, even if you don't have anything, or if you have everything and you're confused or you want to scale. Today is for you. We have John Paul Iwuoha. He's a business activator. He's a regular on the program. He comes every Thursday and it's usually very explosive. So a little about him. John Paul Iwuoha is a business activator who works with entrepreneurs to fix difficult problems at the startup and growth stages of business. For more than a decade, John Paul has helped dozens of entrepreneurs start new businesses, raise funds, grow sales, optimize business models, and solve human capital and growth problems. His clients are active in industry that range from agribusiness and tech to retail, healthcare, manufacturing, energy, financial services, and other sectors. And John Paul is an alumnus of PwC and qualified as a chartered certified accountant with ACCA. He's a frequent speaker, trainer, a judge who has worked with business networks and entrepreneurial focused organizations. He's featured on several media platforms, home and abroad. I'm talking CNN, TRT, World, and other diaspora news channels. And in 2018, he was recognized by LinkedIn as a top voice on startups and entrepreneurship. So he's right here with me in the studio. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you. Now, for more than a month, we have been having this very interesting conversation. Is very beneficial to a lot of people, and that is the business opportunities. We're looking at business opportunities in a tough economy as ours right now, and that is what we have been discussing. You've given us about 6 strategies how you can thrive, the opportunities in this sector, and today we're going to go through all of them today, and then we'll open the phone lines as quick as possible so that you can have your consultation. You can ask your business questions and it will be answered here for free for you. So let's start this morning. We're starting with business opportunities in a tough economy. Yes. If you've been listening, what you hear is what you've heard before, and then you're going to get fresh perspective into it. So let's go.
Okay, so it's interesting you mentioned that even in Ukraine and Russia, that business is still going on. And that's because there's something known as a war economy. There's new demand. There's, it's interesting how human beings are. No matter how tough the situation is, our needs will never go away, right? Even in Ukraine, they are now saying, okay, people that are registering new births, people are getting pregnant, people are giving birth, children have resumed school on Monday in Ukraine in the middle of a war, right? So I'm using that as perspective, because if you say your condition is tough, there's nothing tougher than a war situation. And if in Ukraine and Russia, things are still going on. So, but bottom line is, let's focus on our own business, because our business is our business. The good thing about business is that it doesn't give you too much time to grieve or to bother really about the things that are happening around you. This morning on my way here, I saw people heading to work. Employees are still trying to find their way to work. Business owners are finding their way to work, because you have a business to run. No matter how you feel about it, you have a business to run. No matter what happens to you, you have a business to run. So we are going to be talking about opportunities. And so far, I've talked about 6 of the core strategies. There are several more, but I'm hoping that after this, let me call this season 1. After this season, we can now start exploring some interesting subsequent opportunities. I started this season with marketing the star. And I described the star as a great product that has poor marketing. That is how to identify a star. A great product that has poor marketing. How do you know a great product? Most times, even you can tell. It can be, if it's something that has to be eaten, it can be from the taste. If it's a business that is into services, it can be from the quality of the service. It can be about the characteristics of the product. It can be the quality. It can be the durability. It can be the effectiveness. It can be the efficiency that it saves you so much money, and still a lot of people don't know about it. So any great product you've noticed around you that has poor marketing is a solid candidate for the marketing the star strategy. And what that means is that many people that make products are so involved and overwhelmed by making the product, because making a product is tough. You have to deal with the technical details. You have to make sure that you're making the right thing. You have to deal with machines, equipment, human beings, raising capital to produce the thing, your raw materials, your suppliers. There are a lot of moving parts in making a product. And by the time the person makes the product, because it's so overwhelming, they don't pay so much attention to marketing. And that's because some people have this weird notion that when you make a good product, the market will find you. I don't know where people got that from, but except you are standing on some very high pedestal or you have a platform already, a strong brand, it's unlikely that the market will find you just because you have a good product. So what this has led to is that there are many products that have potential, locally made products I'm speaking of at this point, because particularly right now, imported products have lost some of their vibe because they are now naturally more expensive. But there are products that are local, that are made by local manufacturers or service providers that are local, but the owners are not paying enough attention to marketing. As a result, what you end up having is they have a great product, but they suffer from poor marketing. So while they are there waiting that one day they will blow, which is not automatic. Yeah. Because for people to discover you, you have to put something out there. There was a day we were having a tough conversation. In fact, I had to arbiter between my client and his partner. The partner was a sales guy. That's the guy that was doing business development, sales and marketing. And this, my client, is the brain guy. He's the one with the idea. He's the one that came up with the products and things like that. And they were having this argument about sharing equity. How much equity should they get in the business? The guy said, I'm the one who has the idea. I make the product. I'm the tech. I'm the engineer. I'm this. I should have 85% of this business. You don't do anything. You only sell. You just sell. So I cannot understand why I'll give you more than 15%. After all, what do you do? And the guy was like, you spent almost 5 years wallowing in this business. It was only when I showed up that the doors started opening. I started making sure that we were getting more visible, and then the contracts started to come in. Now you are sounding like you are like the best things in sliced bread, because you are the brainy guy. You are the guy who understands engineering concepts and stuff like that. And what I told him is that people who are technical, people who are producers, people who are creators, they tend to look down on the marketing side because they feel that because there's no science to it. After all you're doing is just talking and shaking hands and going and hanging out with people. I'm here in the factory, I'm sweating. What are you doing, right? If you ask me to slice it, I would even give more share to marketing. Because what use is it that you have a good product but nobody knows about it? You're just going to be suffering. That's exactly what it means. So marketing is important. And there are many businesses, particularly small businesses, that are suffering under this weight of marketing. Some of them don't know how to do it. Some people feel dirty when they try to market or sell something. They feel like it demeans the value of what they have. They can't bring themselves to market. And that's a challenge that they have. Some of them don't understand the importance of marketing, but whatever the issue is, if you find a great product that is suffering from poor marketing, that is a big opportunity for you. Because if you even think about it, some of these imported products that we have, or some people may not know this, there are products that come into Nigeria that the person who makes the product, maybe in China or in Turkey or somewhere, they've been looking at Nigeria, this big market of 220, 240 million people. Yeah. There's an opportunity here, but they don't know how to sell within Nigeria. And you see some guy that didn't go to school, and he's just sending one email to that manufacturer in China, and he's saying, send me a sample, I can market this thing here, send me. And then one day, the sample enters, and this guy moves into a market like maybe Alaba International, and then he starts to make contact. All of a sudden, he's selling that product. 3, 4, 5 years down the line, it is now his name on that charger, on that accessory, on that earpiece, on that whatever, or even phone casing or screen guard. Yeah. This is the way these things happen. So if you find a good product that is suffering from poor marketing the star is an opportunity for you. The second strategy I talked about is producing for the star. A major challenge that people have, particularly small businesses, is that they are struggling to sell because people don't know their product. You may have a good product, but if people don't know your product, there's this reticence when it comes to trying you. Now, I used to think everybody was a bit like me, which is that I like to try, and if I see a new product that I've not seen before, I will buy it. But I was quite surprised that, many people are not like that. Many people are like, I've not heard this name before. I've not seen it before. So I will not buy it. And they will only buy it if they see somebody else that has bought it and tried it. So people are risk averse when it comes to trying a new product. You may be good, so they may be like, I might spend this money and the product may not be good. Let me just go with the one that is known, tried and tested. Now, the problem with that is when you start up your business and you're trying to sell and you put that your name, interestingly, people spend a lot of time trying to come up with solid names. And of course, there's a science to it. I hope we'll get to have another session to talk about it. You set up that business and you're trying to grow it. You've opened an account on Instagram or social media. You're trying to market the business. But it is tough because even though you have a good product, people don't really know you. An easier way would be to work with a platform that already has some name recognition in the market, somewhere that people already know. Somebody that people already know. So if you really look at it, many of these designer brands that we buy, many of them don't even have their own production facility. I give an example. Nike doesn't have a factory where they make shoes. Nike doesn't own shoes. The person or the company that creates their shoes is somewhere in Asia. Nobody knows who they are, but they are a very successful company because they make the shoes and then Nike sells it. Same with Apple phones. Apple doesn't own any equipment that makes smartphones or whatever. Another company makes it. So it's a marriage made in heaven, if I'll call it that, where you are able to take the hard work of the brand and produce for the brand. A brand that has marketing, that has a solid visibility in the market or a high market premium should not be involved in producing their own products. I'm sure they would want to decouple it and say, if you can manufacture and meet our specifications, if you can manufacture and meet our quality standards, then we will sell. So when you look at the two examples that I've given you, what is Apple sells phones, but what is Apple? Apple is not a phone maker. Apple is a marketing company. It's a design and marketing company. They design the phones and they market the phones, but they don't make the phones. That's the same thing Nike is. Nike is a marketing company, number one, then a design company, and then somebody else does the production. So that's the direction we are gradually headed, where people that have a lot of following in the market, people that have a high name recognition, they don't want to get involved in producing stuff. There's an interesting trend I've noticed. I don't know, it's always been there, but I don't know why it caught my attention recently. Something exciting is happening in the furniture space in Nigeria, and it makes sense because of the real estate boom. And also on the office side, you're now, along some of the major corridors, you're now seeing showrooms. Now, what we've seen in that space is that when I was growing up, if you wanted to buy furniture, you go to one recommended furniture maker, and he will be the one to make the furniture. The way people are buying furniture now is different. And that's because some of these craftspeople, because their work is not standard, they end up frustrating you, at least on the most part. It's either the job is delayed, the quality is not as they promised, and things like that. So the market has now moved into brands. It's now brands that are selling furniture in Nigeria. You want to buy, you go there, they have labels on furniture, and they are really nice. They have all these solid showrooms and stuff like that. Now, the interesting thing is that those craftsmen that used to make furniture, many of them are now looking for jobs in some of those companies that are selling furniture. Because when all you do is produce, the market value is not in production. If market value was in production, Nigeria would be a very rich country. Nigeria produces a big chunk of the cocoa that we export. After Ivory Coast and maybe Ghana, Nigeria is one of the top 4 in cocoa production. Cocoa is $100 billion industry annually. The people that eat, you hear Belgian chocolates, Swedish delight, Turkish delight, and all of them. The market for chocolates is in the marketing, is in the branding. But many cocoa farmers in West Africa are actually poor people. Because you have cocoa farmers, you have aggregators, the ones that go into the rural areas and buy the cocoa seeds from them and then do the export. Those ones are richer than the farmers. So if it were about production, Nigeria would have been a very, very rich country. What happens is that we produce, somebody takes our product, adds value, additional value add, and then they sell it for something higher. So, but the opportunity there is that anybody that is good in branding doesn't like manufacturing. They see it as too much work, too much. But if you are good with manufacturing, you can then be the person that supplies that business. So that's the producing for the star strategy. The third one we talked about is infrastructure businesses. And these are businesses that provide essentially the infrastructure for other businesses to thrive. I gave one example recently. Somebody comes out and says, I'm a fashion designer, I'm a tailor. You are paying rent, you've hired employees, and you are struggling like most other businesses in Nigeria are struggling. And then somebody on the other side says, okay, I'm a fashion designer, but I'm a fashion house. And what that means is that I provide a platform for other people that are starting in the fashion business to thrive. If you want to start in the fashion business, most people will tell you, go and learn handwork. Go and learn handwork. The challenge after learning handwork is that it becomes capital intensive. You need tools to work. After learning the hard work, you will need the sewing machine and stuff. You will need a place to work. You will need to pay rent. You will need power, electricity to work. And now it's expensive, either petrol or diesel. So starting a business from scratch right now is harder, even for somebody that has handwork. What an infrastructure business does is that it takes over that hard side and says, I have the space, I have the equipment, I can provide you with the electricity. Just come and do the work that you do and then pay me for that time. So this structure can work. I started with a fashion house. If it's a car wash, it can do the same thing. If it's a bakery, the day we discussed this opportunity, somebody that wants to start a dry cleaning and laundry business came up with the same thing. Any business that requires capital, that is capital intensive, right now in Nigeria is an opportunity because a lot of people want to start it. But what is keeping them out is the capital to start it. Yeah. Rather than start the business and try to compete like everybody else, you can be the infrastructure provider and say, you know, there are 10 people within this estate that want to start dry cleaning and laundry, but the capital is a problem. I create the facility, I get the equipment on ground, I provide the power, I provide everything you need. Those guys, all they do is just marketing. They go, they get the laundry, get the clothing, get the clients, they come to my facility, they do the laundry, and they pay me. So it's like an indirect way of becoming a landlord to other businesses. And sometimes when you go to get a property, there are some landlords in Lagos that insist on business customers. They want a company to rent their property, not an individual, not a salary earner. And the reason is that a business many times is more durable than an individual that is trying to do something. And another person called that day too and said, more or less, he was giving a testimony to say that his property is on what you call a site, and then he set up a car wash infrastructure business. Essentially, what this means is you provide the space, provide access to water, provide access to electricity, and then he said he got all these young boys to come down and be washing cars. So what that does is that they wash the cars in your infrastructure thing, and then they pay you for using the infrastructure that you provide. So that's it for the infrastructure strategy. The other one we talked about was exporting businesses, and I don't know if we still have about 9 minutes. So.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we go ahead.
Okay.
Yes,
so we're talking about exporting services. Export is a major buzzword right now in Nigeria because of the opportunity it provides to earn foreign exchange. You earn in dollars, particularly with the beating the naira is getting. I can understand why export is attractive, right? But the thing is that every business opportunity comes with their own challenges and risks. And if you're only looking at the business as an opportunity, you are likely going to be blind to the risks that it presents, which is why you always have to look closely. Of all these business opportunities I've talked about, they also have their own risk. Now, with exporting goods from a place like Nigeria, all these challenges you face with you have to deal with customs, you have to deal with documentation, and export is a very structured thing, because there are terms for international trade, and the way you trade internationally is not the way you trade within Nigeria, because you are within the borders of of a sovereign. So people learn the hard way. They get into it and they are bit and they recoil into their shell and they start looking for the next opportunity. That's why exporting services is an important opportunity, because what it does is that it allows you to get the benefits of exports without the risk and the bites that you normally get from exporting goods. If you're going to export goods, you have to deal with the roads, getting the goods to the port. And if you are selling something that is perishable, that's an additional risk, because by the time it gets to the destination port, they might tell you that they cannot accept this for quality reasons or for documentation reasons or for whatever. Exporting services is the new direction. I see it as a future for a place like Nigeria. Because when you look at it, the scarcest commodity as is emerging now, it will end up being human beings. If you look at the demographic profile of Europe is getting older. The average age of Europe is tending towards 40, 42 years old. In America is about, I think, 38 years old. America is even like the best performing of all of them. China is more or less, there's now a big scarcity of teenagers and young adults that are supposed to be working. Russia is facing the same thing. South Korea and Japan are the worst. So young people are a treasured commodity in all these areas. Even in some places, they are now paying couples to have children. So when you see the whole foreign visa thing, it's not as if they want to do us a favor. They need people that will pay tax, because in many of these developed economies, you now have older people that are depending on the system for their pension and their benefits. But who will pay the tax that government will use to pay? So that's where Africans come in. We have the largest supply of young people. The average age on the continent is 18 years old. Right? So Africa has a huge supply of young people. And that's why all these countries are opening their doors. It's not as if they really want us to come. That's the truth. They don't really want, but they need us because of the taxes that young Africans can pay. And if you doubt this, go and look at the criteria for applying. The Canadian process, for example, the older you are, the lower your score for entering the pool. So the older you are, the more disqualified you are. The more educated you are, the higher your points. So what these countries are looking for are young, educated people that can come and work and start paying taxes as quickly as possible. They don't even the refugee one too. See what the UK is doing. If you come for refugee status, meaning that you cannot be economically viable, you cannot pay tax. They now have a program with Rwanda. If you show up in the UK, they ship you. You say you're coming for asylum, they ship you to Rwanda. You see what's going on now? So if you're coming for refugee, they will tout the whole human rights and all that. But if you're coming for human rights, where they will be the one feeding you. They don't want you on their territory. But if you're going to come with an education and with youthful energy and you work and pay taxes, their doors are opening. Germany gradually is opening because they are under pressure. Germany's fiscal status right now is really poor. So Germany is trying to also open up. So in the next 5 to 10 years, almost every country in Europe will have a channel through which young Africans can come into their country. It's now a blown out competition. You know, they started with a young educated. The UK now they want teachers. Now they want plumbers, carpenters, people that can work, right? So labor supply is the biggest commodity. So when people say the Japa thing is a problem, no, that I actually see differently. We are now exporting human beings. They may call it new slavery or whatever, but that's the truth of it. Africa is now exporting labor to the developed world. For countries that are still battling with this, like Japan is a bit closed, that their cultural identity is very important to them. But Japan got to a point where through the deflation, through the low birth rates, they now have to start asking women to work for longer. France has increased the retirement age. The reason they are doing all these things is that they are under demographic pressure. They are top heavy. They have more elderly people than young people. And the only continent right now that has far more young people than old people by a wide margin is Africa. And Nigeria is the biggest fish in that water. And Nigeria is one of the most traveled. If you go to some countries, they don't really travel, like somebody from Botswana or Namibia. To see them outside their country, they'll be like, what are they going abroad for? Nigerians are the ones that have the psyche of going out. We're the ones that travel. South Africans, even not as much. Ethiopians, not as much. Even if they go, maybe they go to maybe Cyprus or Israel. Yeah. Nigerians travel. And for all these countries is a major asset. So the more people want to travel, the more they are opening their doors, and they are seeing the advantage America has. So Canada has copied, Germany has copied. So I'm ending here, but bottom line is that exporting services is a major advantage, because the era we are moving into now is an era where services have a premium over goods. Look at the top most valued companies in the world. The Meta, Amazon, Apple, all these companies have one thing in common. In the 70s and the 80s, the biggest companies were like Boeing, the aircraft manufacturer, ExxonMobil, they produce oil, Ford Motors, Toyota, they produce cars. The most valued companies in the world now don't produce goods. They are service businesses. So if you are in the business of exporting services, the advantage you have is that the internet gives you the opportunity to export services from wherever you are without being physically present where you're going to.
Great. I wish we could continue the conversation. But don't worry, we're not stopping. We just want to go pay some bills. And when we come back, the phone lines will be open for you to call in and ask questions. I mean, when I say question, I mean business questions. If you're going through maybe a hard time in your business, you want to know how to expand, or whatever you want to ask, you can do that. So we'll pay some bills now. We'll be back after this.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delights in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 at Denira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
No, I'm fine. No.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. You are listening to Business Around Town. The time is 10 o'clock. Now, the phone lines are open for you to call in now. 0700 903 903 903, or send in a WhatsApp message 0700 903 903 9, and that's the number. You could call WhatsApp to 0700 903 903 9. That's the number. But to call is 0700 903 903 903. So call in, send in a WhatsApp message if you want some consultation in your business, and please try and make it very brief. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. What's your name and location?
Yeah, my name is Bolaji. I'm calling from Ajawa State.
Okay, Bolaji, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I do have a marketing problem with my I have a Gari producing factory. But lately, Gari is not a product where you can just go on the TV or radio to market. But I've been having problem marketing the product. So actually, I don't know how to get about that.
What is the product?
Gari. What kind of Gari? Jebu Gari or
is
normal
it Gari?
Gari?
You said?
Yeah, Gari.
Okay.
Gari. Jebu Gari.
Okay. Jebu Gari. Okay. Is there any question you want to ask?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Your question will be answered. Just keep listening.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call in, ask your question, or send in a WhatsApp message. Now, the Gary.
Okay.
Yes.
So the interesting thing here is, if I have to thank him for the question. They draw with a product like Gary. Everybody eats Gary, right? So you would assume you have a call.
You take more calls.
Yeah. Let's take more calls. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to you. What's your name and location? Okay. Where you are, it's a bit. I can't hear you well. Can you move to a place where it will be clearer?
Okay. My name is Awame from Ikotu.
Okay, Rollins.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Rollins. What's your question?
it's talking about the infrastructural aspect where people create the environment and probably the energy for others to come in.
Yes.
Now, there's some in the aspect of bakery. I know about bread. I want to do bread, but to be honest, I don't have the capital. Now, I did stuff like that, but it's not easy to get a bakery that will come and say, come and work for some time, and you go, you come back again. I don't know how to go about that one, but if I can see something, it's good, but it's difficult.
To get capital? When you say it's difficult to get capital, right?
Yes, I don't have the capital, but the issue here is that I need a bakery where I can go and do my baking stuff on daily basis. I don't have the money to erect the bakery and buy the machine.
But you can bake bread very well. You can bake bread very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think we'll get your question now. Get your question.
Okay.
Now I think we'll just take one more. Just one more. So
answer the three.
Answer the three. So 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call in. Just one more and we'll be done. We don't need too many questions, so we can really give it an analysis. Okay. This one should be a message. This one says, good morning. If I take this message, I won't take calls again. Let me take this message. This one says, good morning to you. My name is Kinde, and I've been listening to you now from Ikwaja area. Thank you so much for what you do. I sell sachet water, bottled water, and water in general. But I've been trying to scale for a while now, but it's really difficult. I started this business with the hope of making good money. I've been doing this business now close to 2 years, and I tell you, I've been struggling. My water is good. I have a NAFDAC number. I have 2 small buses that work for me. I'm not so big, but I have a dream of growing my business to a level where I will supply Lagos and out of Lagos. Please, I will need you to talk on this for me. Thank you. Okay.
So those 3 questions.
Yeah, 3 questions.
The Gary guy, the one who talked about infrastructure, he's looking for capital, and this one for pure water.
Yes.
So the Gary question is quite straightforward. The challenge he's facing, which also ties to the pure water business one, is the problem you face with what I call a commodity business. A commodity is a product that everybody uses, but it is available in a standard format, like water, like Gary, like petrol, like raw rice, like vegetables. So what it means is that it's an undifferentiated product. There's no difference between the one you are selling and the one I'm selling, because it is standard. It's just the same. So my ability to differentiate is limited. So that's the problem with Gary right now. And when you have a market like that, you are competing with all sorts of people. You are competing with the women and the communities in Ijebu and other areas that are actually frying this Gary. You are competing with the random person that is ordering this Gary from outside Lagos to sell. You are competing with people that are willing to cut corners and do whatever to reduce costs. You are competing with all sorts of characters. And that's a problem with a commodity business. You have two options. It's either you pivot to another business, or you look for a way to enter the premium segment of the Gary business. And I'll give you a couple of examples. There are people who will not want to buy Gary in the open market. Why? When you go to buy Gary in the open market, you will notice, for example, the kind of environment there, the flies and things like that. That puts off some people. They sell Gary in supermarkets, but that Gary is not the same price as the Gary you buy in the open market. You would have said, but this is just Jebu Gary. Why are you selling this Gary to me at 3 times the price? I can buy this inside the market. No, that person is not buying Jebu Gary. That person is buying, 1, sanitary standards. That person is buying quality. That person is buying safety. That person is buying convenience. That person is buying brand. That person is not just buying a commodity. So that's the challenge. It's either you pivot into the premium side where you can get more money for the Gary you're selling. Another way to pivot is the people who export Gary. If you know anybody abroad, ask them how much do they sell Gary anywhere in the US, Canada, or UK. Yeah. You will notice the price that they tell you. That's a premium market. So if you want to get out of the commodity space, the only way is to go premium. If you decide to compete within the commodity side, you are really going to suffer for it. That's it for the Gary person. Okay. The person who talked about capital, and he used an example.
Yes, he knows how to bake bread.
Yes.
But the structure, where you can go and bake, and that's where you can go and bake his bread and pay the bakery for using their facility.
Okay. So one thing I know for a fact is that every bakery wants to make money. Every bakery is under pressure. They want to make money. So there are three approaches I would recommend to him. The first is to go in as somebody who wants to work in the bakery. It's always better if you want to start a business to be an insider. If you go in and say, okay, you're applying for a position in the bakery, and then you're able to get in and understand, oh, okay, this is how this industry works. This is where you get raw materials from. This is how you can set up. That is one angle. But more or less, you're going in as an employee. You would stoop to conquer. You fly below the radar, observe, and then the second is to engage a bakery as a contract manufacturer. Go in with this thing. Every bakery wants to make bread. So if you are saying, for example, that you want the bakery to make loaves for you, the issue they will have is they will not want to make 20 loaves for you. It's a waste of their time. They will not want to make maybe 50. But if you are going to order like say 100 and above, they might listen to you. But the challenge he has is that he doesn't have the capital, because after you make that bread, how are you going to sell it? You still need packaging and things like that. That's another challenge. The third one is there are bakeries that are on sale in Lagos, bakeries that want to sell. So you have two options. It's either you hire the bakery and you go into some kind of revenue share arrangement. I've seen one example, for example, where the owner of the bakery is getting old and none of her children were serious about taking up the business. So the woman was like, do I shut down this business or sell it? I found out about this because the woman was trying to get somebody inside to structure it so that she can sell the bakery. If you can find such an arrangement where the owner is tired or doesn't have time to actively run this thing, but then you can come in and say, don't pay me a salary, we'll do revenue share. Right now you're selling this amount or you're baking this amount. These are the improvements I can make. It's not enough to say, okay, you can bake bread. If you come to me with a proposition and say, these are the changes I can make. Right now you are doing 200 loaves a day. I can move it up to 500. And you only pay me for performance. You only pay me for the work that we do. So we're going to share revenues, right? So for that person, they've gotten a capable person that can help run the business, and they're not paying you a salary. So it's a win-win. It's just, I think at this point, he has something he can trade in a deal. He has a skill. He has knowledge, technical knowledge in the bakery business that he can use to trade for a deal. But he should not be looking for something up front. If he goes into a place and asks to share the risk and share the revenue, he should be able to get something. So this is a case of, you can make them a couple of offers. I want to rent your facility for a day, a week. Is there such an option? Let them tell you yes or no. The other one is, I want to come in and work here, but I want you to pay me based on the results that I'm going to deliver. Let him see what they are going to tell him. So these are ways, like I've mentioned before on this show, capital is not just money. Money is the crudest form of capital. If you have a skill, that is capital, because you can trade it. You can trade it for capital. If you have knowledge or relationships, there are people who their only business is just to make connections. I will help you get a meeting with that guy, and they pay him 5%. That's all he does. There are people in Nigeria, in Lagos, that eat only from who they know. As in based on who they know. You want to see social person, I can make it happen. I get 5%. And that's how they make their money. And that's the capital they have. Relationships. Relationship can be capital. Information can be capital. You have information about a concept or something that can work. You don't have the money. That is, it's just the ability to trade, make the right trade. I have knowledge. I need to talk with somebody that has capital but doesn't have the knowledge or the time. Yes. Okay,
good. Now, we have the question for the water.
Yes.
Or you water. There's another one here that's telling me, Mary, please ask my question. So I will combine it because of time.
Okay.
He said, please, I'm a good dry cleaner. Do I have shop here in Surulere, but my plan is to relocate the work to Lekki. But the problem is just all about the cost of a shop at Lekki. Please, I need words to move on how to move. Thank you. Okay. Did you get the question?
Wait. Come again. He has
a dry cleaning shop in Surulere, but he wants to relocate to Lekki. But the problem is the cost of the shop at Lekki. He needs to move there, maybe to up his game.
Okay. Does he already have clients in Lekki? Because before you move to Lekki, my first question would be, you need to justify the cost of that rent that you want to bring in. And for those who don't know, the dry cleaning business is split into a front office and a back office. Your back office is where you do the laundry, where you do the washing. It can be anywhere, as long as it doesn't create a logistical nightmare. So he can still maintain the back office in Surulere. That's where his equipment and everything is, where he does the work. But the front office is where you collect clothes from the clients, where they can come and drop off, and where they can come and pick up. So I believe that's what he's asking, setting up a front office.
No, he's not saying front, because he's saying it's a shop. but he wants to relocate to
relocate.
So this idea you're giving is very good.
So what I will tell him is that
the cost of shopping Lekki
exactly
is
don't move your back office dry cleaning. Keep it in Surulere and start getting clients in Lekki. You don't need to have a shop to get clients in Lekki. There are people that show up in the office, like you go to all these banks now. There are people that show up there to collect clothing. So you work in the bank, you don't have time. When you are coming to work, come with all your dirty clothes. The guy comes to the office, picks up all your clothes and takes it back, washes it. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, he will bring it to your office, dry cleaned. You put in your boot and go back home. That's how people in Lekki are served. Nobody is going to anybody's house. You meet them at the office. When I was working, that's how we used to do it. Who washes for you? The guy will come to the office, pick up all our clothes, and that's the advantage you have. You can get bulk, because once you're serving one person well, they will tell their colleagues. You come to that office, let them know you in one branch of a bank. You go there, you pick up all their clothes, and you tell them 24 hours or whatever, you come back, deliver it. They don't care where your office is. What they care is that you do a solid job. The kind of people you want to serve don't have time to branch off their route to go and start looking for your shop. You really don't need a shop. What you need is customers, and there's a cheaper way to do that. So in summary, keep the back office in Surulere, start scouting for customers in the Lekki area, and I've given you one tip: focus on aggregated areas, offices, banks, corporate, where people work. Once you get one person there, the word will spread. You go there, pick up, put it in your boots, or carry it home anyhow you like. Go to Surulere, wash it, get it done, package it, bring it back to the office. And before you know, your name will spread from one branch of the bank to another branch. Somebody will now recommend you to their colleague, and that's how you spread without even having an office in Lekki. You don't need an office in Lekki.
Now you have just 1 minute for the pure water, the water person expansion business.
So the pure water business again is a commodity business, and this dream of selling pure water in Lagos and then selling in Ogun State. The truth is that the pure water, the commodity business, is the easiest type of business to go into, because it's something that is widely available. I've mentioned before on this program how you win in pure water is not the product, is distribution. And I give you a couple of tips. They wake up very early. You show up before other pure water companies show up. You provide credit to your customers. So that woman that does food business, you give her pure water on credit. And that is an incentive for her to keep buying from you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Now it's time for us to talk about the business opportunity in a tough economy executive strategy retreat. Now, all of the opportunities you've heard, we're able to share just 3 because we have 6 and even more. Mm-hmm. So there's a retreat that is coming up on the 30th of September. It's called Executive Strategy Retreat. I'd like you to talk more about it, who can come, why I should come, and all about the retreat. Okay,
so the title is Business Opportunities in a Tough Economy. And the premise is that a lot of people are focused on the problems of the economy. And I'm like, there are a lot of opportunity. Any problem you think we have right now, except for the ones that obviously are from poor decisions, from leadership, from up there, right? On an economic scale, the size of the Nigerian market is a very strong opportunity on its own, because we are a consuming market. And there are a lot of problems that are available that need to be fixed, but people are not paying sufficient attention to them. What the Executive Strategy Retreat does is that it will provide direction and help to position you, particularly for 2024. So some of the people that have called today, these are the kinds of questions typically we will address. You started a business, you are facing issues with sales. Is it a matter of your price, or is it a matter of distribution, or is it your product itself? Whatever issues you are facing with business around starting the business or growing the business, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at the Executive Strategy Retreat. Who is it for? You want to start a new business. You have a business that is either stranded or stagnant, and you're looking for ways to grow or diversify. This Executive Strategy Retreat is for you. You have a job, you are committed to something, but you're looking for opportunities to open something on the side to augment your current income. This is something you need to look at. It's not a seminar, it's a retreat, and the wording is particular, because a retreat means that it's actually hands-on. It's not just information. It is going to be a two-way thing. What is the challenge you're facing right now? I need to raise capital. This is how you go about it. I'm having issues with sales. This is how you go about it. So that's exactly what strategy is for. So this is for people who are willing to take action on the ideas they have now, or are looking for opportunities to expand and do other things.
Now, how to apply? Where do you go to if you want to know more, you want to apply, you want to come? And how much is this retreat?
The retreat is 50,000 naira. Okay. It is an executive exclusive event. To register, just send a message, WhatsApp message to 080-2249-3182. That's the WhatsApp, 080-2249-3182. I think
we have to take the number very slowly.
Yeah.
080-2249-3182. That's the number that you can just send your message to. But there's a website for this.
Yeah, the website www.activatorhq.com. Activatorhq.com. But to book your seat, to reserve your spot, it is, you send a WhatsApp message to 080-2249-3182. And like I mentioned, it's supposed to be a retreat. It's a strategy retreat. Many people do not understand the value of strategy. And this is why people spend time being busy. If you ask, I'm working on my I'm busy. So from January to December, you're not seeing much result for being busy. And that's because you're confusing busy with results. Strategy focuses on results. Strategy might just mean that there's just one action you will take, and you will beat the person that's been working from January to December. So what this strategy will help you do is it will optimize your business for results, not for efforts, not for busy. I've tried this, I opened this branch, it did not work. I did this. We're not interested in what you are doing. We're interested in what you are achieving, the results. That's exactly what the strategy is for. And this is why high-performing CEOs, whether in Nigeria or outside, they don't play with strategy. So we are now in the last quarter of the year. You will start seeing that many of these bank CEOs and all of them, they are flying to one place or another, some conference or whatever, and they are going there for strategy. It is strategy that creates progress in business. But people, particularly small and mid-sized businesses, they focus too much on busyness. Maybe that's why they call it business. They are busy. Busy doesn't mean results. Results come from strategy, knowing what you have, what you want to achieve, and how you will get there. So sometimes they're like, why do you pay consultants so much? That's what they do. Just change this one thing in your business. Boom, the door opens. Meanwhile, you are trying to figure it out on your own. Always busy. It's affecting your health. It's affecting your relationship. You ask yourself, what are you doing all of this for? You are not working with strategy. You're just putting in effort. So 2024 needs to be the year of strategy for you. And that's exactly what this is for. And if you've been listening to me for the past couple of months now, you would notice I'm not this is not about inspiration or motivation. It's what gets results is what you can actually do. It's not you can do it. Believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is good. I will agree. But then when you believe yourself, what do you do next? That's why I come in. That's exactly why I come in. That's why I'm an activator. That's why I'm a fixer. I get it done for you after you are sure of what you want to get. So on the 30th of September, I look forward to having us within that strategy retreat and helping you get the results you're looking for.
Okay, now the number to book your seat, because you have to book it now, is selling very fast because it's a limited executive retreat. The number is 080-2249-3182. 080-2249-3182. That's the number. You could send a WhatsApp, you could send a text message, you can also call, but don't call now, because if you call now, it's going to ring out on air. So that's the number, 080-2249-3182. Just book your spot and you'll be booked. But if you don't do it on time, you might lose it. Someone here wants to know if, okay, I say no, don't call now, just hold on, and very soon you'll call and then we'll get to talk. Now someone wants to know that, please, do you have a payment plan? That money it's quite big for me because I'm just a starter. Please, I'd like to know, because I'm very interested in coming for the retreat.
Yeah, so the first step is to send a message to the number 080-2249-3182. There's a payment plan. I think you can split it 2 times, or 3 times, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the other thing he mentioned, which is on the side, which is that it's expensive, right? Would you rather pay 50,000 and I save you a full year, 2024? I save you unnecessary mistakes, unnecessary losses, unnecessary hardship, and improve profits in your business. Which one is more expensive? So that's the way. When you say something is expensive compared to what? So let's compare the 50K to the potential for 2024. That's the offer that is on the table. That's exactly and I know for many business people, the choice is clear. They would rather just make this sacrifice now and then have a clear direction for the next year. By January, you start hearing New Year's resolution. Everybody will have it, but not all of it is achieved through the year. And the problem is strategy. We have good ideas, good plans, but many people don't know how to overcome the obstacles in their way. For some people, it's capital. For some people, it's sales. For some people, it is the resources to get it done. For some people, it's how to become the leader that will even make it happen. For some people, I have 3 opportunities for 2024. Which one do I choose? You might end up choosing one, and that one will crash you. One example is all these businesses that they sell. Oh, you want to sell this? Everybody buys it, you know.
We have some questions here. This one is from, good morning, my name is Miriam. I'm a business owner. I own a catering services and I'm okay. I've been going for different business seminars and different retreats, but I tell you, I haven't really got what I want. I go there for. I want to know what is the difference with this one. I wouldn't want to pay that money and just come back and not do anything with it. How am I sure it's going to be what it is? Because it sounds really interesting.
Fantastic question. Fantastic question.
Yes.
Now, for anything to happen, you have to get the direction. And the second thing you have to do is you have to follow the direction. I've mentioned before that there are people who are drawn to knowledge, but execution is a big handicap that they have. So she's right with what she has said. For a business person, you have to be sure that you're going to get results for what you're getting. But in this case, if you do not apply what you learn, or if you do not follow the direction that I give you, who then do we blame for what is going on? Because anything you are going to do will require risk. Some people are looking for automatic return. I hope that's not what is happening in this case. But overcoming anything in your business will require risk. You have to do something. So if you do it and it doesn't work, that's a separate matter. It's not the fault of the person that gave you the direction. But if you have a direction and you have not followed it, you've not taken it, then it is clearly on you.
Okay. Thank you. Because of time, let's go over it again. We have a business retreat coming up on the 30th of September this month, and you can book your spot. It's 50,000 naira. It's called Executive Strategy Retreat. Yes, business opportunities in a tough economy. Open your eyes to different opportunities and how you can take advantage of it, how you can start it, how you can activate it. This is not motivational talk. This is not inspirational. This is not spiritual stuff. It's Executive Strategy Retreat. Now, the number is 08022493182. 08022493182. Now, that's the number for you to book your spot. Now, if you want to know more, because you asked me, I want to know more, Mary, I want to know more, go to this website. It's www.activatorhq.com. You will read all about it there. If you want to book your spot, and Mary, reserve this spot for me. I'm paying 50,000 naira right now, or I want to pay 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. The number is 08022493182. That's the number. That's it today. I think our time is up. Just 2 seconds for a word or two.
Yeah, a word or two. What I would say is don't look too much on the reasons why that thing cannot happen for you. Because if it were that easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So focus on the problem, and more or less you have to realize that there's a way to overcome it. And keep listening to this station. Even if you don't attend anything that we're doing, just keep listening. Every single day, every single Thursday, I show up here at 9:30 a.m. You're going to get something that will add value to your journey. Okay,
thank you very much. I'll start answering your calls now when I leave here. Now, we'll be speaking with John Paul Iwuoha. He's a business activator. Thank you so much for coming on the program. My name is Mary Onaife Edebi. Coming up next is Area Matter. Keep it here. This is the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also